Hey, this is Andrew Brown. In front of me, we have CodeRabbit, and we want to get started here by creating a new free trial account. I want to point out that it's a 14-day free trial. There is no credit card required, and it's a 2-click sign-up process. So you are going to need to use either your GitHub, your GitLab, or your Azure DevOps account, because if it does GitHub, it's going to be able to do Azure DevOps as well. I'm going to use GitHub here today, but let's jump into it. And so we can go up here in the top right corner or here in the middle to get started. And we actually, before we do that, let's just take a quick look at pricing. So imagine we really like this product and we want to continue on with it. Down below here, we have our free tier right now, which gets us summarizations for each pull request. It includes 14 days free usage of the Pro plan. So this is what we're getting when we sign up for 14 days. But even if you do not plan to continue right now with CodeRabbit, you are still going to be in this free tier, and then you can decide later if you want to upgrade. So there's no reason not to sign up if they have a generous free tier with something. But let's go ahead in the top right corner and get our free trial going. You'll notice we have GitHub, GitLab, Azure DevOps, as I said before, and Bitbucket. Good to see that that's in beta. Bitbucket obviously being very popular because a lot of companies use Jira and end up using Bitbucket. But again, today I'm going to use GitHub. It looks like they also have self-hosted, so that is also really good as well. So if you're connecting to your own Git server that is either GitHub Enterprise or GitLab, then you can do that as well. Let's go ahead and sign up with GitHub. And you see I have multiple accounts. This is my other account when I like to work between two accounts. We'll go ahead and connect to my primary account. It's asking for some access, read-only access here, and it wants my email. Nothing too crazy, and we'll go ahead and set up our account. So now that we're in here, it wants me to create a new organization. I already have one called Exam Pro Co. We'll go ahead and hit continue, and I am set up. Now I don't have any repos connected or anything else, but we will do that in the next step, okay? All right, so we are inside of CodeRabbit, and you'll notice right away there are some features that are locked currently. And that's because we have yet to start our subscription of our Pro plan, our 14 free trial. So if you look in the top left corner, just make sure that you have the correct organization. It does appear to bring in all my organizations. It's not a big deal for me. But I noticed when I first came in here, it was on MonsterBox. I want to be on Exam Pro. But yeah, if you go over here, if you click this, you'll see that it says unlock by upgrading Pro plan. They say it includes a 14-day free usage of the Pro plan, so no credit card required, and we're going to make sure they make good on that promise. If we hit upgrade now here, it's going to want us to pay because that is just the flow of these links here. However, if we go down here to subscription, here it says get started now for free, no credit card required. Just choose a monthly or annual plan below, select the number of seats, and click subscribe. You can adjust or cancel subscription anytime, ready to get started. So no credit card required. That's what it says. So go ahead and click it. We have two options, US or Indian rupees. We click this button, right? And right away we see start a free 14-day trial with CodeRabbit. No credit card required. It repeats it again. I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger as I know the font's a bit small. But again, no credit card required. Get full access and post-trial. It's only $30 a month. Contributing developer. No commitment. Cancel anytime. So they're making it really clear that it's easy to get started, easy to cancel, and we just have to choose our seats. So I'm just doing one here today, but depending on how many folks you're using, you'll choose more seats. I think it's it's $30 per month per contributing developer. So it's going to be $30 per person you add to your team. So it depends on the size of your team that needs to go in here and to generate out code reviews. If you're a small team, that's just one person. If you're larger, then you need more people involved. But let's go down below here. It says you will be charged after the 14-day trial. But notice that I'm not entering any credit card in. So I think that this is just a misnomer in terms of the flow. Probably it's hard to code that out. I make payment gateway, so I understand what that is there. But we'll go ahead and proceed to checkout. And we're going to fill in a little bit of information. So this is optional. I don't have to fill in any of it, but I'll go ahead and fill it in here because it's not a big deal. We'll say Andrew at andrewexampro.co. We'll say Exam Pro Training Inc. as that is my name of my company. We'll go ahead and hit next. And now it wants us to add a billing address. And the question really will be, will it ask me to provide a credit card? Because if there's no credit card, no big deal. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in our business address. And if you ever wondered, I'm buying a church, so it's public information where the my business address is, but it's St. Andrew's Church in Schreiber. I don't even know the address myself, to be honest. So that's actually our headquarters, unusually enough. And so I'm going to go ahead and grab that in here. And I'm going to drop this in here. Don't even have to put my phone number in, which is really nice. And so I'm going to see if it can autocomplete to my town. It can. There we go. Fills in the rest of the information. And I'll put it in here, Exam Pro Training Inc. And I'll go ahead and hit next. And so we have our information for billing. If we choose to attach a credit card, I'm going to go subscribe to CodeRabbit Lite or Pro plan. We want to try out Pro because why not? And now we are upgraded. Again, no credit card added, and there you go. All right, now that we have our subscription turned on and the locks are gone, we can go ahead and add a repository. So I'm going to go ahead and click repository here. I'm going to go into my Omen King account. And I specifically want to add the Bootcamp repo here because I'm actively working on it, and it's probably the best candidate where I'll be using it throughout the week and getting full chance of showing a really good example if I come back here with it. But I'm going to go ahead and authorize this specific repo. You can't authorize all, but today I'm just going to, be good about what you call it, security, and only do that. We'll have to log in with GitHub Mobile. So just give me a moment. I got to get my phone out and confirm that. All right, so just confirmed. It says complete your sign up. So it's asking about my primary email. This is because my old company name was andrew@monsterbox.com, but it's showing it here. My email is actually andrew@exampro.co, but we'll go ahead and fix that. I actually like that it asks that because I don't like that things go to my old one, even though I've updated my email. How'd you hear about this? Well, actually for CodeRabbit, I wanted to see if I could use it to review my students' work because they're submitting work. And I got to do so many, so it'd be really cool to be able to get some summaries. But I'm going to say referred by me. How do I do that? And I'll just say, I was looking for AI code reviews. I was looking. We'll just say I was looking. There's a bit of a limit on what I can type there. Oh, enter a valid source. We'll just say LinkedIn. Sure, why not LinkedIn? Actually, can I just choose LinkedIn here? We can, and then we'll proceed forward here. So congratulations, CodeRabbit is now installed in the repos you've chosen. Create a pull request as you usually do, and CodeRabbit will monitor the chosen repos and automatically review any new pull requests. So what we need to do is get up a very simple pull request now. And so I do have the repository here in Windsurf. You can use whatever you like, but I like Windsurf. And I'm actually going to make sure I open the entire folder here, which is here. And let's say I want to add a feature. I'm going to use generative AI so that we can just find out quickly what that looks like. But I was last working on this listening comprehension, and in here I implemented integration specifically with AWS, and so I have a limitation of voices that I have here. And so what I'm thinking is that what I'm going to do is ask it to modify the code so that it includes another source for Azure, right? And so I'm playing the coder and the PR reviewer in this case. Normally you wouldn't know what's going on here, but I'm going to just quickly implement this, and I'm just going to pause it here, and we're going to just skip over where I actually have the code implemented. Actually, before I skip ahead, I just want to show you what I'm coding. So basically this thing, what it will do is it will take a formatted transcript in a very specific format, and it will generate out multiple voices and then stitch together. But the problem is that I have a limited amount of voices because I'm just using AWS and I'm using Japanese, and they have limited voices for it. So I'm asking it to extend this by including, I know it's really hard and small to read here, but I'm saying bring in Azure voices and Google Cloud voices and try to make one uniform API here. So I'm going to go ahead and generate that, and then we will speed up. I'm going to put it to write mode. Be back in just a moment. All right, so here we have some changes, and we can see what Windsurf had changed, but I'm not going to thoroughly review it. I would rather commit this and see what CodeRabbit picks up on the other side here. If this is going to be PR, then of course it has to be in its own ticket. I kind of forgot before I started this to do that. So what I'm going to do is just go git add all, right? And I'm going to do git stash save for a moment here. And I'm going to make this a new branch. So I'm going to go git checkout -m, and this will be multi ASR because that's what we're doing. And then I'll do, whoops, here, multi ASR, git checkout, branch -b, multi ASR here. And now we are checked out in this new branch. Then what I'm going to do, and by the way, I realize the font's a bit small, so I'll bump that up so that folks can see what I'm doing. But now that we have our multi-ASR branch, we need to push it. But before we do that, we need to do git stash apply. So that will take off the top of the git stash that there. Okay, so now we have that modified audio generator, and then I'm gonna go ahead and now do my commit. So we'll say git add all. There's only one file that's being updated here, but we'll say git -m, and this is going to be update the code to support multiple ASR systems. And I'm not going to say exactly which ones because I want to leave that alone for now. So we'll go ahead, and we've now pushed that upstream. And so if we go back over to GitHub, we should now be able to create ourselves a PR. So over here, you know, we go over to our actual repo. We should have that there and be able to trigger it. So I'm going to go over into free GenAI Bootcamp 2025, and we'll go over to pull requests here, and it says free GenAI Omen King. So that's not for me. That's somebody that created this. So I think somebody just made a mistake here, but we'll go ahead. I'm going to make a new pull request, but just give me a moment here. I'm just going to close this one out here. All right, so I got that one out of the way. We're going to create a new pull request, and we created that in a different branch. So if we go here, we should see our branch here in this one here. I could have swore I pushed it. Did I not? If I did not push it, let's go back over to here. And, oh, we committed it. We didn't push it upstream. So we'll do this, git push. And I guess I've never, well, we'll have to run that once to push it upstream. So there we go. And so now if we go back over to here, we should see our branch, right? So I'm just looking for that tab. Here we go. And we'll give this a hard refresh. And so now if I drop this down, we have our multi-ASR option here. So we'll go ahead and create ourselves a pull request. Okay, and notice that I have not described anything here. I'm just going to go ahead and create this pull request. So the question is, like, will this work if I'm the only one that is committing on this? And so that's what we're going to need to find out here. So I guess the next question is, like, where is CodeRabbit going to appear? And I don't know. So give me a moment to figure that out, okay? One thing I'm noticing is that on my repository page, it's not listing the repo, but I thought I added it. So let's go back and take a look and make sure we add it again, because maybe there was a small issue on my part. And so we're in here, and it does have read-write access, and I selected specifically this repo, so it does have access to it. But I guess my question is, like, why don't I see it there? So just give me a moment to figure that out, okay? I guess I have to log back in here to get back in. Let's try to keep the tab open. It'll save you a bit of time, but you know what I'm expecting is to see that repo here, and I don't. So just give me a moment, okay? You know, I was thinking about this a little bit more, and right now we're in the Exam Pro Co repo, and that account is specifically under my personal account. So I'm thinking that it's showing repos that are specifically to this organization. So if I go over here and switch it over to OpenKing, then maybe we'll see the repo. Oh, there it is. Okay, so now we can see it. If we click into this configuration, let's see what options we have. So here is we can choose our review language, so we can use a different language if we want. Tone of instructions. If we want to access early features, enable the free tier, which we are on. Enable free tier features for users not on the paid plan, which is really nice. We can see we have a lot of options here for changing what it is that we want to see. But I guess my question is, why am I not seeing the integration running? Now, I did notice that I had Netlify enabled, and so I'm not sure if another extension might interfere with it. Another question is this not working because the person that's making the PR is the same person? And so that's what I'm trying to determine right now. But at least we found where the repo is. And so we just got to be really careful about that organizational switch to find it. But yeah, just give me a moment to try to figure out why we're not seeing that there. But at least we've confirmed that CodeRabbit is definitely has access. One thought I had is maybe what we need to do is add reviewers, because right now there are no reviews. And so I'm wondering, well, I can add Baco here, but I guess the question is, like, could I add this CodeRabbit as a reviewer? And so that's kind of what I'm wondering about right now. Also, if we go over to settings, I don't think there's any options over here to set it. And so again, I have two questions. If I commit my own code, will I get if I'm the person that committed the code, will it still generate out because I'm the owner of the account? And the other part is, do I have to add as a reviewer? And there's additional configuration. Now, I did go over to the repo here, and I checked as best I could for any options to see if there's anything we had to configure. But all the defaults seem fine. And I just keep thinking that maybe that netlify was an issue, right? So what I'm going to do, just to rule it out, is I'm going to go ahead and delete out this pull request. So we're going to go here, and I'm going to close this out, okay, as if it never existed. And I'm also going to go ahead and get rid of that branch. And now I've uninstalled Netlify, so now there should be no conflict with it. But we will go and view all branches here. And we should see in here, oh, this is Omen King. This is the Omen King repo. Hold on a second here. Omen King. So maybe this is where I got my confusion, because there's this repo here. I wonder if I added the PR to the wrong place. That might make sense. So let's go ahead and take a look here and try this one more time. So I'm going to hit new pull request. You got to pay close attention to what you're doing to make things work. But notice here it's going from Omen King to the Exam Pro repo. So that's my problem. I want to merge it into the current one, and that makes total sense why it didn't trigger. Okay, so we're going to choose multi-ASR. And so now it's going to go from this way to that way. And I'm going to go ahead and create that pull request. So I'm not filling in anything. Now, you're supposed to, like if you're the person that is submitting this pull request, you're supposed to do it. But if you don't, and a lot of people are lazy, then this is where I think CodeRabbit is going to help out the director of engineering, the CTO, the senior developer that's responsible for reviewers to review stuff. So we'll go ahead and create it. Okay, and so now I'm hoping that we're going to see CodeRabbit appear here, because it does have access to this repo. We'll give it a nice refresh. Oh, there it is. It started already. And we can see it says currently processing new changes in the PR. This may take a few minutes. And it can see there's a commit. It's literally just 1 or 2 commits. And we have some files generated here. And it says Jurassic Park would have been a lot shorter with me around. And is it what is it? I mean, that's okay. Like, it's fine that they put that in there, but I'm not exactly sure what it is. For a minute there, I thought maybe there was a Velociraptor, but now I'm not sure. But we will wait a little bit for this to go here. So I'll be back in just a few minutes and we'll see what we get, okay? All right, after a few minutes, we have our generation. And remember, I did not put in anything here. And so it looks like it's gone back and it's updated my summary, which is great because I was lazy and I did not put something in there. So it says new features expanded the text-to-speech capabilities by integrating additional providers with Google Cloud and Azure. Enhanced voice selections now offer multiple voice options for richer audio experience. Introduced a flexible service rotation mechanism to seamlessly utilize available providers. That sounds very accurate to what was coded there. The pull request updates the audio generator class to support additional text-to-speech services. Alongside AWS Poly, it now initializes clients for Google Cloud TTS and Azure TTS using their respective SDKs and environment variables. The constructor is modified to set up these new clients and their voices. Okay, so that makes sense here. Down below, we can see what file was changed, and it provides in summary what was changed. We have a sequence diagram. Is this useful for me? I don't know. Let's take a look here. So we have the audio generator. It has an initialization step, which is true. It will update the voice dictionary. That is true. It will set up the TTS service. Here, if we generate audio, if AWS is selected, it goes to AWS Poly. If it goes to TTS, Google TTS, it goes there. If it goes to Azure TTS, it goes there. And I would say that's an accurate description, and it shows us the pipeline. So yeah, I would probably have to use it a bit more to really determine how useful this is. But this was a thing that I coded very quickly, and I generated out quickly, and it does give it a clear explanation. I don't care for the poem, but we'll read it anyway. Oh, what a hop code today. The new voices to sing in a playful way. AWS, Google, Azure join the choir, rotating tunes that never tire. So that's fine. We'll go over to here. And so we have that, and we have tips. Now, I understand that somewhere here there is an agent that we can speak to. And the other thing with CodeRabbit is that it can learn. So the idea is that it's not just that it's generating this out, but I believe, we'll go over here, we have learnings, and it can learn things and store insights. So over time, it gets better at reviewing, because, of course, you could generate this with an LLM, but again, they've coded the agent in very specific ways to bring you this sequence diagram, to give you the summary, but it's more going to be the benefit over multiple PRs and commits that you're going to get that advantage. There's some integrations here, so it'd be interesting to see what it could do with Jira. I don't have Jira connected with this today. I do know Jira quite a bit, so that'd be really interesting to find out about that. I'm not sure what reports can do, but I would believe this would only be useful if we have multiple PRs. But here it says the report will be generated at the canvas of the select. We'll do on demand here, and we'll see what we get. Again, we might not get useful data just because we only have one date range. We'll just say example report and see what we get generated. Down below it says daily stand-up report. Oh, this actually could be good, because imagine you have your team, and this is a hard thing, is getting your team to tell you what they did. This, to me, as a CTO, this is what I want. Because I want to know what all my developers doing and what they've changed. And so this could be really useful. And it looks like you can even push it out here. So once you set it up on a recurring thing, if you use Slack, Discord, Microsoft Teams, we use Microsoft Teams, or just email, then that could be really, really useful. I just want to see it generated, to be honest, but it seems like it would take another day for that to generate out. And I didn't enter a Discord name, that's right. But I'm trying to think here. We go group by repository and subgroup none. I'm just wondering if I can generate this on the fly here. It really wants to go somewhere. So I'm going to go down below. I'm going to enter my email in here because it needs something, right? And we'll go ahead and save report. But this to me is really, really good. Really, really good if you're managing multiple developers. I'm not sure how fast that will generate. It looks like that was pretty quick. I mean, we don't have a whole lot of data there. Let me go check my email and see if we have one, okay? Here's our summary. So it says example report, developer activity. So here we have a PR, updated the code to support multiple ASR systems, enhances the auto generator by integrating additional TTS services. So we have a sense there. This will make a lot more sense if we had more contributors, but right now, again, it's a very simple thing. Let's go back over to here and look at this just more carefully. And see the grouping, because I could see the grouping being very useful, because if you want to group by user, saying like, what did each person do? Tell me that. Or if you had teams, what did each team do? If you had very specific labels that you kept track in your, I'm assuming it's in GitHub, that'd make it really useful. Or if you want to go by repos, maybe you have multiple repos that are being worked on. So you can kind of change the scope of what you want it to be. And yeah, I mean, it's good. It's straightforward. It makes sense. And I mean, that's all I want to show here today. It would be interesting to find out where the agent is. I don't know where it is. There is this one down below here, but I don't believe that's the agent that they're talking about. But yeah, there you go. That is CodeRabbit.